For the next hero spotlight, what we're doing is getting in a time machine, going all the way back to the core box and taking a look at Black Panther. Welcome to Nelson All Over Cards. My name is Nelson, and today we are deep diving into Black Panther, who is one of the core set heroes from Marvel Champions. I just finished up playing 4 different games. I played him in all 4 of the aspects, and then we are going to dive in, kind of talk about his kit, rank the aspects, then put him in an overall ranking of all the Marvel Champions heroes we've done these videos on so far. So let's start off by talking about his alter ego ability. T'Challa has a setup ability that allows him to go get a Black Panther upgrade. These upgrades are critical to his kit and still something that's really unique and something that we haven't seen, even though this was from the core box. It's really cool that the designers were able to put heroes in this core box that still have some really interesting and unique mechanics, even though we're at 40 plus heroes now. We're going to talk about all the Black Panther upgrades here in a second, but let's talk about some of his other alter ego abilities. He has 2 cards that really round out his alter ego kit. He has the Golden City and Ancestral Knowledge. The Golden City is a really strong support that allows you to exhaust it and draw 2 cards in alter ego. This gives you the reason to come back down to alter ego. Even though he doesn't have a printed ability on his alter ego side, the Golden City makes up for that absence. He has another event card called Ancestral Knowledge. This allows you to shuffle 3 different named cards back into your deck. So going down, if you have Ancestral Knowledge, you're allowed to shuffle in Wakanda Forevers, which are very critical to his kit, or other cards that you may be building your deck around. The Golden City then allows you to maybe even draw those, and each trip down you're +4 cards if you have the Golden City on the table, making him a pretty strong alter ego hero. Whenever you flip up to the hero side, Black Panther has a 2/2/2 stat line, which is a very good stat line, and it just makes him a very well-rounded hero. He also has a Retaliate 1 printed on his hero card. So let's talk about the Black Panther upgrades. So there are 4 different pieces of the suit that you're building out, and you can trigger them by playing the Wakanda Forever cards. You have 5 of these events in your deck, and what that means is you can trigger each one of the different parts of the suit in any order that you choose. Whatever gets triggered last has a better benefit. So for example, you can trigger Panther's Claws, which is one of the damage dealers that deals 2 damage, or if it's the last one triggered, it deals 4 damage. Each one of them has a better benefit if they go last, which really helps amplify the flexibility that Black Panther does have. So he has 3 damage dealers. He has the Panther's Claws, Energy Daggers, which is an AoE damage, and then Vibranium Suit, which allows him to heal and then deal that damage back to an enemy. And then the last upgrade is a Thwarter. This is Tactical Genius, and it removes threat from a scheme. So once you have this built out, those Wakanda Forevers, and you do have 5 of them in there, get very, very powerful because you get to trigger every single one of these abilities every time you play Wakanda Forever. The last card in his hero kit that I wanted to take a look at was Vibranium. He has 3 of these, and these are double wild resource cards. So for a lot of the decks, this means you don't even need to run the doubles, and you have more space to run some of your aspect cards that really lean into your strategy. Or you can, on the other side, run the doubles and just have an insane cost curve, because at that point you have 6 doubles in your deck, and you can be playing some pretty expensive cards with the Vibraniums and the doubles. Also, the Vibraniums are great for getting rid of villain attachments, which we're starting to see a lot more of, where a hero action or a hero response to spend X types of resources, having these double resources makes those go away pretty easily. So the basic cards that Black Panther really likes, there aren't a ton that really jump out and you need to add these in. But because of those Vibranium guards, you can pretty easily get a lot of the higher cost cards and resource generators onto the table. So definitely be looking at like Quinn Carriers, Avengers Mansions, Furies, all of these cards that have a pretty high cost. Because Black Panther's economy is so strong, you have no problem getting those to the table. Let's rank all the aspects. So I'm going to rank them in least good to best, and then when I get to my favorite aspect, I will call these out. In 4th place, we have Aggression, and Aggression is here, and this is one of the reasons I love the hero spotlights, is because I never noticed the weapon synergy that Black Panther has until I actually sat down and played a game in Aggression with him. So his Claws and Energy Daggers are weapons that can trigger off of your Mean Swings, your Fusillades, all of these cards that deal with exhausting weapons, and since they don't need to exhaust to run your Wakanda Forevers, you basically get a free activation out of these cards. So like a Mean Swing, you can exhaust your Panther Claws, deal +3 damage on a basic attack, and still trigger the basic claws with a Wakanda Forever. This was a strategy that I didn't notice until I had I started playing with them. And so I'm glad that I'm going back through and playing multiple games with these heroes because I find things like this that I wouldn't normally have found. I do want to call out that even though that the weapon synergy is really good, Tony Tails had a really solid point on a comment on one of my videos where grabbing Tactical Genius first, even though it's not a weapon, is really strong because now all your Wakanda Forevers help with your threat mitigation, which is where aggression has a weakness. So you can start removing threat immediately and then focusing on using your basic activation for an attack. In third place, we have Justice. So the Golden City and Ancestral Knowledge are just so strong, and with some Confused Lock decks, you can really start to trigger those very frequently. So when you roll down, if you have the Golden City, you're basically playing with an 8 hand size, and this helps Black Panther get built out very quickly, and then you can start hammering these Wakanda Forevers, and then flip down probably every other turn if you are running a successful Confused Lock to take advantage of the bigger hand size that you get with the Golden City. The Confused Lock strategy for Black Panther is very, very strong. Leads us into the second best aspect, and this is actually my favorite. That's gonna be Protection. Protection is really cool with Black Panther because he has the printed Retaliate 1, and that makes it a very strong strategy because a lot of the perfect defense or protection builds are built around dealing damage whenever you defend. So you have cards like Electrostatic Armor and Flow Like Water and Dauntless, all of these cards that deal damage whenever you defend, and throwing the Retaliate 1 on top of that just makes it that much stronger. 2 defense is a really solid start to a perfect defense build. Also, Protection has a lot of upgrades, a lot of support, so when you get those all onto the table, then you are thinning your deck down very, very thin, which allows you to be triggering your defense events that you need, and also the Wakanda Forevers that are going to be dealing more damage and threat mitigation. The last thing I want to talk about with Protection is Brother Voodoo can go grab Wakanda Forevers, meaning that whenever you play Brother Voodoo, especially if you're built out already and it's late game, you have a really good chance of grabbing one of those Wakanda Forevers, being able to trigger a 4 card activation sequence. So Brother Voodoo gets you in there, gets the card, and also is a block if you need it. And then that leads us to the best aspect with Black Panther, and that is the blue aspect, leadership. Black Panther with the Avenger trait and such a strong reliance on his kit cards, he runs an awesome strength and numbers build. He can load up on allies, use them to draw multiple Wakanda Forevers, and just basically win. Also, I want to call out Kalu, which can be used to grab Wakanda Forevers or strength and numbers. Kind of the same strategy as the Brother Voodoo in Protection, but Kalu has a little bit more flexibility on what he can do. I lined up pretty closely here with the community, and we just had Aggression and Justice flipped, but rolling down to combo off that Golden City I think is just so incredibly strong, especially in solo play, because at that point you're playing with 60% more cards than if you hadn't rolled down, right? 5 to 8. And you can do just so much stuff with 8 cards in your hand. So I think the Golden City right there inches up above the Aggression build just because you have a little bit more flexibility in rolling down, makes that a step above in the rankings for me. The community also voted Black Panther in as a B tier pretty overwhelmingly, and I'm going to agree with them here. So in my overall ranking, I'm going to drop Black Panther right in front of Black Widow as a B tier. He is a really good hero once he is built out. It does take a little bit of time to build him out though, and that can be the difference in some of these S tier heroes versus the B tier heroes, is he is really strong late game once he has all of the pieces of his kit on the table and you can start hammering these Wakanda Forevers. But especially in like some of these rush villains or the expert, you can lose before you can build out that kit, and Black Panther can struggle in the early game, especially if he's not drawing the cards that he needs at the right time. But I do love how heroes that we got in the core set are still very strong, unique, and fun to play. I appreciate that from the designers. I'm so glad that I enjoy going back and playing pretty much every single hero from the core set. And we've had them for that long. They've learned so much in the design of this game. Now that we're in X-Men, the heroes are a little bit more complex. They're still very fun. However, all the heroes feel pretty unique, and I think that's a really cool thing. What are your thoughts on Black Panther? Do you like his playstyle? What's your favorite aspect? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a discussion about Black Panther, because I think he is a really cool, interesting hero that I'm excited to hear more from the community about. I was not playing the game when the core set came out. I started right about right before Galaxy's Most Wanted dropped. So a lot of these older heroes, I wasn't around for the community conversation when they were coming out and when they were the thing and when everyone was playing them, right? Everyone's playing X-Men right now. Everyone's talking about X-Men, and I wasn't a part of the conversation when some of these older heroes came out. So I'm excited to hear what y'all think. As always, thank you so very much for hanging out. If you enjoyed this content, I'm doing a lot of these. I'm doing more. So if you want to see more videos similar to this, go ahead and follow the channel, like the video, all of that good stuff. It really does go a long way in helping promote this content. I hope you all have a fantastic holiday season. I appreciate you all. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you enjoy Black Panther. Happy gaming. Peace.